Going on, everybody? Welcome to Brandon's Face. It's the podcast about a playlist. I'm Jonathan Beardsley.
And I'm Brandon May.
Hope you're all doing well. Is there anything newsworthy you want to chat about before we begin today's show?
The Chemical Brothers have announced their album release date, September 8th, I believe, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken.
The album is called For That Beautiful Feeling.
Yes,
How you
very
feeling
excited
about
for that
this?
one. Very excited for that one. Comes out in a birthday month. Hoping they tour the U.S. at some point next year.
You pre-ordered the vinyl for this, I imagine?
I did. It was expensive, but I see Chemical Brothers. My bank account drains. I don't know what to tell you.
Did they include pictures of the actual packaging or just a basic JPEG for now?
Oh no, the album cover is out, and it does come with a 24 by 24 poster.
Sick.
They were selling so I bought the two disc black. All my Chemical Brothers records are all black, and I figured if I got any special colors, it would just kind of ruin the flow.
Yeah.
And they were offering a 3 LP, and that just seems like overkill to me. There was no need for that. Also, it was $77 plus shipping.
Jesus.
So I was like, yeah, nope.
Fuck.
Sorry, bro.
You made the right move.
I think so. What about you? Anything fun in the music world for you?
We got Nas's new album, Magic 2, dropping this Friday.
We sure do.
That came out of nowhere. And we have begun the rollout for the new Travis Scott album. His first single is dropping Friday, and it features The Weeknd and Bad Bunny. Should be interesting.
I'm gonna say, man, I'm actually surprised he remembered the code for that cute little suitcase he's been dragging around.
It's like the nuclear codes of hip hop, man.
We'll see, man. We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, we'll get the first taste of it this week at least.
Nice.
I think he's doing an event at the Pyramids this week, so we should get a lot more info. I imagine the release date will be unveiled this week.
All right, that's an interesting spot for him, but good for him.
All right, man, that's all I have for news this week. You want to dive in?
Same, let's do it.
All right, first up this week, we got a new one from Duke Dumont and Nathan Nicholson called Losing Control. I thought this one was great, really fun progressive house track. The last drop is incredible. Good stuff as always from Duke. Did you enjoy it?
Dude, this dude's production just keeps getting better and better. He's not like trend chasing either. He's earning the title of Duke. Thank you, Sir Dumont.
It's impossible to not want to make a pun with his name every time.
Right?
I got a new one from Le Youth called Like You Did. This is the lead single off of his upcoming album About Us, due out September 29th. And I really like it. He has quickly developed a trademark sound that I'm a huge fan of. Really looking forward to the album. Did you enjoy this song, and are you looking forward to the album?
You could have told me that this was Lane 8, and I would have believed you. This is an incredible track.
Yeah, I think Lane 8, Le Youth, and Sultan and Shepherd all have a certain sameness to their music, but I mean that as a compliment. Whatever that sameness is what I love about that type of music.
Yep.
Got the return of Prida. The song is called The Return. It's the edited version. There's not another version able to listen to. We both knew exactly what this one was going to sound like going in, and it's still delivered. We'll be getting another new single from him in a few weeks, and I can't wait. Did you enjoy this one?
Yeah, this sounds like every other track from him, and it's fucking great.
Yes, sir. He's been playing this one live for a while. This is the song that is playing when he has like the dude in the cage with lightning coming out of his fingers. If you remember that visual from his set, then this is that song.
Legit.
All right, we got a new one from Boris Brejcha and company called You Can Forever Be. Tell me how you're feeling about this one.
Great track as always. I don't think it's my favorite from him that I've ever heard, but it's good.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just glad we're back to getting weekly Boris releases.
Right, exactly.
Got a new one from Captain Mustache called Geeked on Your Love. This one is super poppy electro funk, but it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. What about you?
Here's our weekly dose of bleep bloops for you. That synth
Yep.
line is pretty neat. The vocals are very interesting. I have been intrigued by Captain Mustache over the past couple of months, and I can't really quite put my finger on it, but I like it.
Captain Mustache sounds like an artist that would just really hold your intrigue, branch.
Just enigmatic as hell, man.
Got a new one from Mall Grab called Say Nothing. Talk to me about this one.
So this is just a melodic house banger, man. It's fast as hell, tons of techno influence. Malgrab is like apparently incredibly popular. Something like almost a million monthly listeners. Well, almost
Interesting.
800,000. Does well in the techno scene, does well in the house scene, kind of like a
Yeah, those are big numbers for techno.
kind of like a chameleon, if you will. I like this one though. I like this one. I haven't heard much from Mallgrab, but saw them mentioned in a couple of my nerd forums and decided to check it out. And lo and behold, I like it.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I would say this track is probably more a little bit like sped up piano house than it is techno per se, but I
For
enjoyed
sure.
it. I had it heavy in my rotation this week.
Yep.
Um, got a new one from Tycho called Time to Run. This one's kind of interesting. He's working on more of a like psychedelic indie sound and incorporating that into his like already super vibey and earthy chill wave sound. I'm pretty indifferent to it so far, but it'll be interesting to see if it keeps going in that direction with further releases. How are you feeling about this track?
You know, when I discovered Tycho, I think it was his album Drive, and I was I guess lucky enough to listen to the whole album front to back as my first experience, and I think that is way more Tycho's speed is like full projects.
Yeah.
It's always a good day though when we get new Tycho. This track is pretty groovy. It's pretty bassy. It's melodic, but like you said, it's got this kind of like psychedelic influence to it. The single art is indicative of that. I'm very curious how he is going to tie it all together. Dude's a fantastic producer.
Yeah, and you nailed it. It really is listening to his music front to back. He does have songs like Awake that do stand up on their own, but even when I'm not wowed by a single off of an album of his, by the time the album comes out, I can throw that album on at any time and just enjoy it. I don't need to love the single as a single. His music really isn't built for that. You're right.
Yeah, I think it's a full project thing, and it's funny. He put out I forget the name of the album, Yellow Cover, I think, but he had vocals on the entire project. We might have
Yeah, yeah.
we might have reviewed it,
I think we
maybe.
did.
I think we did too. But the vocals, the he put out an instrumental only, and the instrumental only is, in my opinion, far superior. I think he just is in his own zone, and I think when he gets there, it's not it's no, there's no stopping him, you know.
Well, and an artist teaches you how to listen to them through their music. So him establishing such a grounded sound through not just one but like three albums and then kind of working new stuff into that sound is just taking some adjustment.
Yeah, for sure. I like that.
Moving on to the pop realm of things, we got a new song from Becky Hill produced by Chase and Status called Disconnect. Thought this one was a little bit predictable, but it was a solid tune, and I'm glad to see Chase and Status getting some production opportunities like this. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, man, that's kind of like the main thing with this track. This track is fine, but drum and bass is kind of having a moment right now, and it's kind of having like a mainstream moment, and I fucking love that.
Me too. Me too, man.
I think
I've been going through like my favorite electronic songs of the decade lately, and there's a lot more drum and bass than I remember.
right, and I think that a lot of festivals are booking more techno artists. I think a lot of festivals are realizing that it always goes through phases, right? The early 2000s, it was, or the late 2000s, pre 2010, big room was just getting big, and all of a sudden, all the big room players were getting booked, and then all of a sudden, dubstep came out of the underground, and everybody seemed to like it, and then it just kind of died off. And even nowadays, all the big room artists, if you look at Hardwell, he's producing techno or tech house rather,
Yeah.
like variations of his own music. And I think techno and drum and bass are kind of having a little moment right now. And I can almost guarantee all of the nerds in the underground are very unhappy about that. So
Yeah, I mean, EDM, like every other genre, is just full of fads. After dubstep, it became like the trap EDM wave for a few years. I'm glad that it is cycling back to more of a place of house and techno and drum and bass, and I hope it stays there for a while. But it's gonna change again. This is how it works, and it'll probably change to something we've already been through.
yeah,
But that
let's give the house and the techno, a good 4 or 5 years. How's that? I like that.
does the DJ Mag Top 100 mean what it used to?
I think it stopped meaning what it used to, like the 10th or 20th year. Like
After
it's
Armin's like fourth year in a row, it was just kind of done.
come on, man. Armin's great, but is he that good of a DJ?
I think the
Like,
criteria for that thing was very confusing, but we can talk about that whenever that list comes out again. We'll go through it.
yeah.
All right, let's move on. We got a new one from Carol G called S91. I am loving this one. Big fan of that beat switch in the second verse. Vocals were great. What'd you think of this one?
She's got such a fucking voice, man. Fantastic
Yeah.
track as always.
Yeah, killed it. New one from Emotional Oranges and Zoo called Not Like This. I thought this one was a fucking jam. What about you?
This is a collab that I did not know that I needed. This track is fucking sick.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the vibes that everybody's kind of curating on this one.
Yeah, their styles work really, really well together. And their new project, Still Emo, I think we were supposed to get it earlier this year. It looks like it's supposed to drop August 11th now. So I'm excited
Nice,
for that.
nice.
All right, we got a Justin Timberlake remix of ICU by Coco Jones. How do you feel about Justin going back in his white guy R&B bag and it being actually kind of okay?
Look, man, the trade-offs are pretty cool, but this track isn't for me. It's too, it's too ballady for me,
Sure.
for a Justin Timberlake track.
And people that want to question your Justin Timberlake credentials need to know that he was your first three concerts.
Yes, two, two,
So,
two in sync and one with the double headliner with Christina Aguilera. So
so you're not even the guy that's like, this isn't for me. You're the guy that's like, he's not as good as he used to be.
fucking do better, bro. Yeah, JT and I go way back. He sent me a pair of his Jordan threes. Like, I'm just kidding, but
Oh man. All right, man. We got a new one from Oxlade featuring Dave called Intoxicated. I am a simple man. I see a Dave feature, I hit add because I know he's gonna deliver every single time. And once again, he did. Did you enjoy this one?
yeah, I'm not used to Dave kind of sounding like this, but he fucking kills it, man.
Yeah, of course he does, dude. He can get on any type of beat. Like you and I have heard him just rap, but when he gets into a melodic rap flow, it's otherworldly,
Game
man.
over. Game over.
Yeah. Sprinter is still one of the best songs of the year. All right, talk to me about this new one from Slaughter Beach Dog called Float Away. I've been seeing their name a little bit in the ether this past week.
So I've been seeing Slaughter Beach Dog's name on all of the different places that I frequent where really annoying music nerds frequent. Probably like me, right? If I frequent
Yes.
them, then I'm an annoying person. Mainly in the indie circles. I haven't dived into their discography yet. This track is very pleasant. That's kind of where I'm at with it.
I mean, yeah, this one was not for me, man. I
That's
see on
fair.
Spotify that Sorority Noise is listed under their fans also like. I do not see that correlation at all or
Yeah,
hear it. Do you?
no, not at all. I don't hear it at all. I didn't know that. This is news I'm hearing for the first time right now. Sorority Noise is fucking great. I
Yes.
don't really know.
Yeah, no, I didn't hear any of that in this song. It's not to say it was a bad song like you were kind of alluding to, but we'll see. They have a new album coming out. Maybe we'll check it out.
Yeah, man, maybe.
All right, we got a new one from Almost Monday called Life Goes By. Talk to me about this.
This is just some fun poppy indie rock, man. I actually really like this one. Little bit of psychedelia in it, and call it a day.
Yeah, that surfy indie beach feel, simple, catchy, super to the point. Love it though.
Right, same.
Not loving this new one from Royal Blood called Pull Me Through. This one was a miss for me. Did not like it, could not get into it. What about you?
Look, man, Royal Blood has been pretty consistent in their career. They have a very signature sound, and they stray from it rarely. There is a guitar in this.
Yeah, somewhere.
The catchy lyrics and hooks are there, but traditionally this is just a bassist and a drummer. So I'm a little. I mean, I heard guitar, and not just like a bass run through like a different amp and a pedal. So I'm kind of confused, but I didn't hate it, but it's not my favorite Royal Blood track by any means. Do you think have you heard anything? Is this like a new album rollout or
Yes, yes, it is. I don't have the date in front of me, but they did announce a new album. You want to
sweet?
check it out?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I do really like the band, and they put out like Out of the Black is a fantastic album. Or is that is
Sure.
that is that what it's called? I think
We've
it is.
reviewed one of their albums, but I don't think that was the one we reviewed.
No, no, I think it was one of their first two.
All right, got a new one from Spanish Love Songs called Pendulum. You've been really enjoying their stuff. Did you enjoy this one as well?
Oh my god, man, this album is shaping up to be very good so far
It
from the
is.
singles. I love his inflection on the vocals and his very unique voice. I love the lyrical content. I am very excited. I have also pre-ordered this one. So
Yeah, it is called No Joy, drops August 25th. This song is really good. The guitar tone in it is phenomenal.
which
Really looking forward to this one as well.
it's got to be one of my favorite things in music when the artist will drop the album name on a song that's not titled the album name.
Yes.
And so I heard No Joy, and I was like, wait a second, I thought the song was called Pendulum, and then so
It's another death rattle sing situation.
exactly.
Oh man. We talk about that album more than I thought we would after it came out.
Bro, I still have that in my car for
The
whenever I need to.
almighty,
It's fucking great, man.
the almighty Norma Jean. All right, you got a new one from the Front Bottoms called Emotional. How you enjoying this one?
This band is so fucking consistently good. It's kind of wild, man.
Yeah, they're very steady at what they do, and their new album is also shaping up to be very good, man.
Yeah, big fan of the Front Bottoms.
Yeah, the way they incorporate the keys on this track, really good. Everything about that second verse is just perfect. I'm happy we're only a few weeks away from it.
Yeah, yeah, should be a good one.
Um, Got a new one from Bearings called Live Forever and Never Die. These guys get it, man. It's high level pop punk that leans heavy in the pop direction. Simple and catchy to the point of almost being primitive at times, but
Right.
it's really fun to listen to. And I keep coming back to it. I'm feeling good about their new album after hearing the singles. What about you?
This is poppy with a dash of punk, and it's what we have come to know and love from Bearings. Absolute earworm.
Yes. Yeah. It crept up more often than I thought it would.
I kept I kept finding myself like humming a melody and being like, "What? Live forever, never die." Like
Yep.
it's
All
catchy
the
as
great
hell.
pop punk melodies do that.
Right, right.
Got a new one from Clear Fight called Scumbag. This is a solid track of the yell sing variety. It's not quite slow enough to be a ballad, but definitely approaching that range. It's a little bit different than what we've heard from them recently. Did you enjoy it?
Man, I thought the melodies were on point, and it's not quite as much of an earworm as that Bearings track, but it's still a good one.
It is. Got a new one from In Shallow Seas called Upside of Being Down. We have arrived at our MySpace song of the week, man. This sounds like every local band you'd hear around 2007, and
God,
I
I
mean
love it.
that as a compliment.
God, I
You
love
enjoy
it.
this one?
Oh yeah, man. Tiny band I came across some Baltimore post-hardcore for you. It's done pretty well. Love that breakdown.
Same, man. Last time I checked, they were at 43 monthly listeners. Hopefully, tracks like this help raise that number up a little bit.
Exactly. Everybody go show them some love.
Got a new one from Fiddlehead called Sleepyhead, that is kind of confusing. This was an unexpectedly fun track. It's some good shove some people around music, full of frantic energy, but still melodic. I liked it. What about you?
It's a post-hardcore summer, John. Released
It
on Run
is.
for Cover Records. This track is pretty good, man.
Have we covered anybody else on that record label?
I don't think we have yet. Maybe.
Interesting. Okay, I'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
Got a new one from Hail the Sun. Yo, dude. Song called Maladapted. Thank you so much for showing me this group. They took a while to grow on me, but we have finally gotten there. Loving everything about this track. It's giving me some old Sleeping with Sirens vibes, but sporadically heavier. The music and vocals are both exactly what I'm looking for when it comes to music like this. This is my song of the week. I love
Hey.
it, and I kind of hope this does it for the singles. They have done their job. I feel like I know what I'm in for, and I'm here for it. What about you?
You know, it's one of those where you feel like you know what you're in for, but you still can't wait to hear it.
Yes.
Yeah, this is also my song of the week. This band fucking gets
Yes.
it. I have recently gone back and listened to their last few albums, and oh man, they be good, dude. This album is shaping up to be a killer.
Yeah, I haven't gone back to their older albums. I've been doing the singles though, because we did review some of them for this, but they were during busier weeks, so I didn't get to sit with them. Chunker is fucking incredible, man. I've really been digging that one, but this single is great.
Oh yeah, this is definitely a good one.
All right, man. Got a new one from Solon called Memorial. Talk to me about this one.
It's a little less proggy than they've been in the past, but
Yeah,
still pretty good. I think the progressiveness kind of gives them their edge, though, and I hope whatever album they drop doesn't it isn't lacking that edge.
you say prog. I kind of just hear alternative rock with a little bit of metal thrown in. Is that not the same thing?
No, it's not. They used to mess with some polyrhythms. I think it's Imperial is one of their last albums. They have a couple that are pretty good and kind of weird with the time signatures. This
Yeah.
song is very much just a slightly heavier Breaking Benjamin. I can feel you on that.
Yeah, like even when I think it's good, which is occasionally, I also think it's weird. And I didn't dislike this track, but I probably wouldn't revisit it either.
Yeah, we'll see. I am still excited for the album, but this
Yeah, we'll see how it
I hope
snaps
it's
into
better
the
than these.
context for sure.
Yeah.
Got a new one from Jerome's Dream called Reminders to Parallel. It's kind of a weird single, but I respect it. It ends on a really somber note, but still manages to pack a punch. Did you enjoy this one?
Yeah, it's a good one. It's not my favorite of Jerome's Dream, but I am glad we're getting so much music. We got that album earlier this
Yeah, we
year,
just
and
reviewed an album of
yeah,
theirs,
we
didn't
got
we?
that. Yep, we got that album earlier this year, and now we've got another single. I would be surprised if they're doing another album, but taking a page out of King Gizzard or something.
All artists need to do the King Gizzard release strategy, man. Don't hoard it. I think Juice World had enough music to do a King Gizzard like release based on how many features he's had posthumously.
Oh god damn.
All right, man. We got a new one from Tesseract called War of Being. Are you a fan of this one?
So, all right, some context. After Tesseract's
Please.
last album, I was actually pretty uninterested. They dropped a lot of their harsh vocals, lessening of like weird time signatures, and I was apprehensive to say the least before clicking on this track. But I think they brought it on this one, man. I think they really did it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree with you there, man. This one was
Okay.
just not for me. It reminded me too much of like mid 2000s heavy alt rock, which you might be a bigger fan of than me. I was just never big on that sound.
Interesting. All right. Cool.
But I do have their new album on our release calendar. We'll see if anything on there hits me a little bit better.
It might. It might.
Got a new one from Werewolves called Destroyer of Worlds. This one kicks ass. The vocals are really, really good, but it's the instrumentation that blew me away on this one. To be this polished and smooth and still be this brutal is impressive, honestly. I'm digging it. What about you?
Yeah, man, this song is the only thing I could think of to describe it was full of life. There's like so much life in this for a death metal band. But it's heavy, it's doomy. I played this song like a ton this week.
Yes, same. All right, man, we got to cap off the singles with a new one from Dying Fetus called Feast of Ashes. I know you were excited about this one.
Oh my god, man. I think this is one of the most consistent death metal bands in existence. They're just
Agree.
technical enough, they're just brutal enough, they're old school in how they produce. It just all comes together so well, man. I cannot wait for this album.
Yeah, this shit is filthy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's extreme, it's brutal, just fucking downright nasty. I expected no less from them. The drums in that middle section are
Oh,
incredible
they're
too,
so good.
man. Have not lost a step. It's as good of a lead single as we could have asked for from them. Their new album drops alongside Olivia Rodrigo's on September 8th. That's the Barbie Oppenheimer of the music world right now, if you
Oh
ask
yeah.
me, and I
Oh,
could not be more excited for it.
that's kind of amazing.
We need to put them back to back on the
Oh, most
playlist.
definitely. Most definitely.
All right, moving on. We got one EP this week. It's from Judas Iscariot called
Yep.
Dethroned, Conquered, and Forgotten. Talk to me about it.
So this EP actually came out in the year 2000, but it was never released on streaming for whatever reason.
Okay, that
Uh,
explains so much.
Last week we had some very well produced black metal. Here is the complete polar opposite of that. This is what I call tin can recordings. Shout
Yep.
out to my boy Christian for showing me this band, named after one of the apostles of Jesus Christ. This band, or more so like a solo project, is for what it is. I mean, he's pretty fucking talented, man. It sucks that there's absolutely no low end on this one, though. I really wanted to hear some of those drums a little better. And as with all older death metal, I did check he's not a Nazi, so there's that.
Thank you. Thank you. So now I can feel good about this. Yeah, this one I thought the music was good, but the recording is just a little too raw to be enjoyable for something I don't already know or have an affiliation with.
Right.
I I imagine that's what fans of it will really like about it, though. We talk about how many one-man metal projects there are now. I was not aware there was one in 2000 that sounded like this.
Yeah, I mean, black metal has traditionally just. I mean, it's got to be hard to find people who actually want to start a serious black metal band. You know what I'm saying? So like maybe he was just
Yes.
like, I can play these fucking instruments. Let me
Want
find it.
something done right, do it yourself.
Let me find a USB microphone. You know, like.
God. Dude, that technology was so bad like 10, 15 years ago. It had to be even worse 20 plus years ago.
Yeah, so I mean, it sounds rough, but that's also kind of the allure. So I didn't. I do really like this, but I just wish for more low end.
Yes. Release the low end cut. Let's get Zack Snyder on this. All right, let's talk about some albums. First up this week, we got a new one from Disclosure called Alchemy. So this was a surprise release, and it was kind of sent on out of nowhere. We got this one about a day before, the cover and track list for this one about a day before. No visible features on it. So much different than their previous three albums. Did that affect you at all going into it?
Yeah, I was massively hyped.
Gotcha. So now that you've heard it, did it live up to the hype based on that?
Yeah, I think it did, man. I really, really like this album. I think it's one of their best since Settle, man. Uh, it, Look, man,
Interesting.
they're just in their fucking zone on this record, man. There's like
Hmm.
there's like this is like a straightforward house record to people who don't listen to house music, but to more experienced heads, you can kind of hear the difference between this and like a background, like throw a house album on in the background. There's no features on this. All of the vocals are like they're like vocal chops from their own voices. There's like a great presence of like actual instruments. I can tell they like didn't want to rely on their DAW and instead opted to use their synths. Great drum
Yeah.
machines, man. There's that 303 being used. I think I heard a 909 at some point too. Um, Look, man, go the distance is a great track. It's tight, crisp production throughout this album. Our longtime listeners will know that sometimes I'll describe house and techno as to like where I could hear it be played. I could hear all of these tracks being played on a beach, on festival grounds, in a warehouse at 7 a.m., at 10 p.m., and like literally everywhere in between. It's kind of I think that's pretty hard to accomplish.
Yeah.
Creating unique productions that are like to be played in every space of the scene, I think, is an accomplishment. I love that they're stepping away from their pop roots. Obviously, I love both Settle and Caracal, but this is just they are just in their fucking zone, and this is just house music, man. They could press play on this album and not do shit for the rest of the show, and everybody would have a great time. I don't think that I can pick a standout, but I think I'm going to go with Go the Distance. I'm going to give this one a 9, man.
Wow.
I
Really
really
high
like this album.
score. I liked it. I did not love it, I guess. It's more of
Interesting.
a grower than their previous albums have been for me, but once I adjusted to the style of the album, I really enjoyed it. I feel like the first half of the album is stronger than the back half, but I think the back half of the album is sequenced and paced better with the inclusion of interludes. And I like that they didn't release any of the singles for this. All these songs are best heard within the context of the album. In terms of the overall sound, I think we got a few trademark disclosure tracks, Looking for Love and Go the Distance, but we got a few surprises as well, like my standout Higher Than Ever Before, which is just full on breakbeat with some dub and drum and bass influence worked in. There's a lot of other decent tracks on it too, but those were the ones I kept coming back to. So far, I have this one at a 7, man, and my standout is Higher Than Ever Before.
Nice.
I feel
What?
like you can really hear the Fred again influence on this current era of EDM with that track.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. So what do you rate a Settle? What do you rate their album Settle?
Settle's a 10.
For sure. Okay, as we're on the same page.
Yeah. Yeah. Settle's a strong 10. I would have to get back to you on Caracal and Energy. It's been a while since I've heard either front to back.
Nice.
But yeah, Settle's an all-time classic.
Yeah, I really like
uh,
this one, but I'm glad you enjoyed it too.
yeah, no, it's very solid. I liked it a lot more than the EPs that they'd put out in the like
Same.
kind of gaps between albums.
Yep.
Got a new album from Mahalia called IRL. This one was a bit of a grower for me as well. I had it on in the background the first time I listened to it, and nothing really hit me. But when I was finally able to like settle down with this one and give it a proper listen, it really grew on me, man. Her voice is amazing, and the production of album cuts like In My Bag took me by surprise. I know we weren't really big on Ready as a single, but hearing it start the album before going into In My Bag and Terms and Conditions made me think of it a little bit differently. It's a great album opener and really helped set the tone for this project. I love how much 90s influence she works into her more contemporary R&B songs. Her melodies and vocal instincts over this type of production is going to be a win for me every single time. I have this one between a 7 and an 8. My standout is Cheat, but Terms and Conditions is still up there. Did you like this one?
Thank you for introducing me to Mahalia. She's
Of
got
course,
like
man.
this modern R&B sound, but like there's like a massive soul influence. Like it clearly comes in through like the lyrics and a lot of the production, and of course like her delivery. Obviously, her voice is great on this.
Yeah.
Songs like Terms and Conditions obviously have a little bit less soul, but In My Head though and November both have like they've got these different vibes, which I don't know, man. That Stormzy collab is fucking great. At
Yeah.
44 minutes, I think the album is like a perfect size for me, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. I love her confidence, and I love this way she just kind of breezes over different styles of production. I also have
Right.
it within a between a 7 and an 8. I think November is going to be my standout, man. Surprisingly, because it's so
It's a really
slow,
good
but
collab. It's a really good collab. I'm
yeah,
glad you enjoyed this one, man. I
yeah,
didn't
I
know how you
really
were going to
did.
feel about it.
I really did, man.
All right, let's get on to some albums we kind of missed over the past few weeks. First up, we got a new one from AC Slater called Together. How you feeling about this one?
All right, man. This album is like an entire party. There's lots of
Yes.
fun styles. There's some throwbacks, some night bass must-haves, and it's just fun, man. There's fidget, future bass, piano house, even some tech house thrown in there. At 30 minutes, it's a good and quick, easy listen. Most of it, however, is kind of pretty bare bones. Some really
Yeah.
great tracks for mixing and really good intro to night bass if you've never heard of the label before. But there's not a ton of AC Slater's kind of signature sound. I think this is more of like a showcase for the label.
It's all collabs too.
Yeah, exactly. I think, and that's kind of what I think. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a 6. I believe is probably my favorite.
Yeah, man, this track is a party with, or this album is a party within itself. Like, you do not really pick a song out of this to play at a party. You just play the album front to back.
Right.
Yeah, man, this one is exactly what I assumed it would be, which is pretty fun. It's 30 minutes of night bass, which is a really good time. It's fun, infectious, creative. The album doesn't get much better than the single Night Rider that we reviewed, but honestly, dance music in general doesn't get much better than that either. I really enjoyed the Shift Key collab as well. Hearing their styles mesh together was really cool, but this isn't really an album that makes me think of individual songs. It's just one you throw on and jam to. I'm giving it a 7. My standout is Knight Rider, obviously.
Nice.
All right, got a new album from Amaarae. I think this one came out a few weeks ago. The album's called Fountain Baby. I'd been hearing a lot about it online, so I figured I'd check it out with you. I don't know where you're at it on it yet, but I had a pretty good time with it for what it is, which is mostly an experimental bedroom pop album with a lot of dance and R&B influence. Most of these tracks weren't immediate hits to me, but the more I sat with them, the more they kind of grew with me. I didn't think it's an album I'll be coming back to in full after this week, but I'll definitely be throwing on tracks like Angels in Tibet, Co-Star, Princess Going Digital, and my personal favorite, Wasted Eyes, from time to time after this. I have this album around at like a mid 6, maybe a 7, but I think it's kind of better than the score on it indicates. How are you feeling about it?
You got to love a good, string opener for the album. It
Yes.
really sets the zone. Sets the scene. Did we cover any for singles for this record?
No, we did not.
Got it. Yeah. So I was unsure what to expect when I put this on. It wasn't quite what I expected, but we got a pretty good like amalgam of genres here, man. I've noticed that when people do like massive genre blends like this, I think it can be kind of hit or miss for me. I think it works though the majority of the time on this one. There's some neat like dance house production on Co-Star. I love the
Yeah,
subtle like brass hits on Big Steppa. Is there like a hint of dance hall throughout this album?
yeah,
Okay,
definitely
that's what
is.
I caught. I do love the percussion and the drum work on Counterfeit. I think her voice annoys me a little bit though. I think
Fair.
it feels like she's constantly trying to sing a range that she can't quite maintain. I think the dreamy guitar work on Sex, Violence, and Suicide is pretty neat, man. Again, the she like bumped the auto tune up for this one. Sociopathic Dance Queen, however, is a really fun like '80s inspired pop track, killer bass line. The crescendo at the album with "Come Home to God" with like that guitar was
Yep,
pretty neat, man. I think I like this record. I don't think I'm going to be returning to it very often, though. I have it somewhere
that's
between a 5
fair.
and a 6 for me.
That is fair, man. I think I knew there would be things you would enjoy about it, but I didn't think you would end up loving it altogether.
Right.
We have reviewed a few of her songs. I think she's on Salsa Up on the K Tremine album. She's done a few tracks with Kali Uchis, I believe. So we've heard her before, but this is her first like solo stuff we've heard.
Nice.
All right, let's cap off the album this week with one from Snakehips that came out, I think, back in May. This is called Never Worry. I've had this on my albums for a slow week playlist for a while. Now felt like just as good a time as any to throw it on, so that's exactly what I did. I've been aware of Snakehips for a while, and I really like a few of their tracks, but I've never really kept up with them. This album only made it onto my radar because Show Me the Money with Takei Maidza has been in mine and my wife's rotation since it was released as a single. That's by far my favorite song on the album, but I really enjoyed a few others as well, especially the intro track with Earth Gang. Overall, I got this one at like a 6.5, but it was a pretty good time. What'd you think of it?
I've never really liked Snakehips. I don't think we've ever talked about them.
I don't think we have, no.
They just seem a little too cheesy for me. Don't get me
Fair.
wrong. Number one, I like cheese EDM, but some of these tracks, they have like some good bass lines and like really good productions. It just kind of seems like DJ Khaled if he did dance music. The features do all the pull. The production is
Ouch.
great, obviously, and it gets people hyped or whatever. But I just don't think it's for me. It's kind of like Kaytranada. I don't know what it is. I guess I get it, but like it just kind of seems all over the place, man. I do love the Duckworth feature though. I do love the Lucky
Good
Day
song.
feature, and I do like
Good
the
song.
Tinashe feature. I think my standout though is going to be All Around the World with Duckworth.
How is it not Show Me the Money? Takei kills that song.
Okay, you're right, but
I'm just
I
joking.
don't know.
It can be the Duckworth song.
It
That's a
is.
suitable replacement.
I think this is about a 5 for me. I'm not a huge fan
Fair,
of it.
man. Fair. Fair. Vegas pool party music.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right, that does it for us this week. Join us next week when we will be breaking down new albums from, get this, man, Black Milk, Blur, Gorgon City, Nas, Odessa, Rez, new really rad records released from a band called Mauve, and new singles from Travis Scott, ASAP Rocky, Baz, Denzel Curry, No Name, J Rock, Snow Allegra, Stormzy, and much, much more. It's going to be pretty insane.
Dear God.
Yeah, it's a stacked week, and it came out of nowhere. If you liked the show, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. You can find us on Instagram and Reddit. Just search Brandon's Face Pod. Make sure you follow the playlist that this podcast is based on. You can find the link to that in the show notes. It's updated every week and sorted by genre. That does it for us. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.